Hey, what's up? It's DJ Kat with 95.5 WBRU. Currently hanging out with Stephan of Third Eye Blind. How's it going?
I love BRU. I was just telling you, I love that station. like we've done so many things for BRU. It's like I feel like you guys are still like one of the last like straight up like keeping it real radio stations. It's kind of a rarity.
Oh, that's so good to hear coming from one of our artists. Like we play you all the time. We have station IDs from you, I think. So it's good to hang out in real life. Yeah, no, good to hear. BRU's the best. We already knew that, but it's good getting that validation.
Well, it's not a competition, Kat, but it is the best.
Okay, it is official. It is confirmed. We are the best. So moving on to some Third Eye Blind specific things. Speaking of things that we do at BRU, we played your new single "Cop vs. Phone Girl" on Smash or Trash.
How did that go?
People really liked
How
it.
dare you!
Yeah, people were into it. So I hear that is off of your new EP coming out later this year at some point.
No, it's gonna come out in like in a week or two, a couple weeks.
Week or two?
Yeah. We're gonna put it out really soon. I gotta finish the lyrics. No, I gotta just finish the vocals on 2 songs, and then we have to mix it, and then we're just gonna put it up digitally. So it's gonna come up pretty soon. But "Cop vs. Phone Girl" is the first song, and I'm so glad that you played it because I don't think it's gonna get played on pop radio. Like there isn't a lot of music that like has a social message, and I don't think that radio stations who have sponsors will be able to tolerate having somebody say Black Lives Matter in a song on their radio. I don't think that they'll be able to do it.
Yeah, well, people actually,
I don't think so.
People did respond positively, specifically to that. They're like, "Well, like we're glad that this song is, like addressing some stuff that needs to be addressed."
Yeah, that's BRU though. We'll see what happens. Like, let's see when we get it out into the hinterlands.
Fair enough. Yeah, and so speaking, I'm curious why at this point in in your band's kind of like history, you decided to switch to recording EPs versus LPs.
Oh, great question. Really, the answer is happiness quotient, because like I don't want to be in this cycle anymore of like saving up a bunch of songs and then putting out, like waiting for the right time, and then doing an advanced single and then press copies and all this other stuff. Like I just want to like have music that matters to us in the moment, not overthink it, and put it out, and then post facto we'll put the vinyl out. So we'll do that sort of. We're doing it in reverse order.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a good process. I mean, prioritizing happiness is never a mistake, or at least I don't think it is. So I'm wondering, because recording an EP, I'm sure there's like much less of a time pressure, but also you can do it much quicker. So I'm wondering if the difference in like you don't have to write and record like tons and tons of songs and then stack them up and try to choose between them, if that difference in the recording process has changed the way that your music will sound at all.
Yeah, but it's that, and it's also that we don't really need to make hard copies. We can just post it on iTunes, and we can put it up on Spotify or Tidal, and then go with it from there. So we can just put it on Facebook if we want to. Like excuse me, we now have different ways of actually letting people encounter the music. So we'll just deal with the CDs and the vinyl later.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, excuse you, bless you, I'm not even really sure what you say to people coughing.
Kind of aspirating water.
So I'm wondering, so you performed earlier this afternoon.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, first of all, how you think that went, and then how you think that live performance is going to kind of like complement or supplement you releasing new music online versus on like hard pressed albums.
Well, playing live means everything to us. Like we really love trying to get more and more empathetic with each other and getting closer to our audience, and just making that moment where people come together and they feel collective joy. We're all about that. And sorry, what was the other part of your question?
Oh yeah, I guess just like in this stage where you're kind of transitioning to releasing more of your music digitally, and instead of like pressing the vinyls, like you said, like doing it in kind of reverse order. How the touring component of being a band is going to fit into all of that.
Well, it just means that we don't have to work on like this is our like touring cycle. We can just tour when we want to.
Right.
And we seem to play here and there, and we'll take some time off after this summer, and then we'll come out next summer, and we'll have probably a couple EPs and maybe a new album. We'll see.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to it. So, speaking of playing a couple shows here and there, I'm sure you saw this coming, but I do have to ask you about the RNC. That made it on my Facebook trending news. BuzzFeed called it I think an epic troll was the words that they used, like epically trolled the RNC.
Epic troll and RNC worst nightmare, yeah.
Yeah, so first of all, I mean, good for you. Second of all, I guess I kind of just want to know, what went into that? Like was that planned, or did you kind of show up and you're like,
planned.
Man, I feel the need to do this?
Oh, I felt the need, yeah. We were told that this was a benefit, and it was a benefit, but they said it wasn't affiliated with the RNC, and I looked out at the audience, and it was just all blazers and pearls. And I'm like...
So you're like, nah.
I looked out at the audience, I looked at like one of my guys in the crowd, I was like, that is a lot of white people out there. You know what? This is an RNC event. That's what it is becoming right now. So, and all I did was I got on stage and I just said, I'm here to support Musicians on Call, but I am not here condoning this platform, because I repudiate all of it. I think it is a caveman's manifesto. And then I said, the song Jumper is about a kid who jumped off the Coronado Bridge because he was gay, and your party's platform still disenfranchises LGBT Americans, just like my cousin. You're still saying that he's not good enough. And I said, so if you sing this song, you don't agree with what they're saying either. And so it's time for you to step up and stop living your life in fear and trying to impose that fear on other people, because you're afraid, and that's what they are. They've become that party has been shanghaied by a grifter, and their ideology has been rewritten by cavemen, and it's based on fear, and it's based on division. And Third Eye Blind is not about that at all. We come from a state of finding the point of togetherness with people, and recognizing something common and beautiful in each other. That's basically anathema to what those guys have become. And I've had so many Republicans come up to me and say, I agree with what you're saying, and I don't like this either, So, I mean, I hope that those people will have the presence to further step up and disavow their candidate.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely think that music can be a platform for at least giving people the words to join in, things like that. So I guess one final question for you is, so since you're talking about social change and how Third Eye Blind is all about that and not into the disenfranchisement of other people, how you potentially see your new music fitting into the broader social justice movement.
Well, I don't think that we're champions per se of the social justice movement. I think that what I am is a person who writes music based on things in my life, be they internal landscape issues of identity, or impact with friends, or the friction in relationships, or things that happen on sort of the external landscape, making some kind of emotional dent in me. And then I use music as a means for coming to terms with that wound, that impact, or whatever it is, whatever sort of impact has been made on me, I answer it with music. And sometimes those are external things. So when I see a video taken from multiple angles of kids in something as mundane as a South Carolina high school, and this child, and she is a child, she's 16 years old, gets assaulted by the person who is supposed to be there to protect her, by a overly aggressive cop. That is so perverse to me that I I just could not let it go. So really all Cop versus Phone Girl is just making an accounting of that event, and then maybe just imagining the chorus. I think the release of that chorus, because choruses, they have to have some kind of release to them. It's just sort of imagining a world where that's not really how it is.
Yeah.
You know, that's why if the cops roll by, you throw a peace sign. Like that's what we want, you know. And to be anti-police brutality is in no way about being anti-police. That's the sort of like this really dumb equation that's been like foisted on us. And I think when you're anti-police brutality and you believe in your commonality with other citizens, that's pro-police and that's pro-community. That means you believe that people who protect us are capable of being really good at it. Mostly they are, but obviously it's been demonstrated repeatedly over and over again that there's a whole group of Americans who are not being served, and that girl in that classroom was one of them.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Unfortunately, I think that we're running out of time for this interview. But yeah, so thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for making this music. We're looking forward to your EP coming out in a couple weeks.
Thank you, Kat.
Nice
to be on your show.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen. All right, so I'm Kat. This is Stephen from Third Eye Blind. We're 95.5 WBRU. See ya.